a very good morning to you, Grenada, and the rest of the world. Today, the 12th day of the 12th month, 2019, I'm George Grant saying welcome to the Thursday edition of Gudday Grenada. We're glad that you guys and gals could be with us this morning. Hope that you have awakened this morning with great expectation for the day that lies ahead, and thinking of ways in which you can serve this beautiful little country of ours. It's going to be a little bit different this morning, and I know that some of you may shed a tear when you hear what I'm going to share with you in just a wee bit. All hope's not lost, my dear friends. Hang in there, hang in there, hang in there, hang in there. Well, congratulations, Chester. I see that you're first up this morning out there in Switzerland, just nosing out Hazel. Oh, poor Hazel has to settle for second place. Floyd Nichols is saying good morning. Well, he's not saying good morning, he's saying hello. Joan Wellington is wishing everybody a blessed day. And Donna Joseph saying good morning, George and everyone on this great platform. Looking forward to Mr. A.B. You had to bring that up before I got to it, eh? Donna. Hang in there for just a sec. Good morning, Claude. Good to see you. And Lydia, you can't spell a what? Hello, George. Good morning, Lydia. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. And Margaret's very formal this morning. Hello, everyone. Well, good to see you folks. Now, let's take a look at the rundown, see what's cooking here over the next hour or so. You're going to learn that yesterday was the busiest cruise ship day for the season thus far. Yeah, man. Yeah, not just yesterday. Find out about what's coming your way. We're going to show you some of the ships that were here. Well, not some, but all of the ships that were in here yesterday. And there were 4. I think I may have said yesterday morning 3. But when I went downtown on Melville Street there, I saw another one anchored offshore. So yeah, there were 4 ships in here yesterday. You'll find out a bit about that in just a wee bit. Then we have a note from the Royal Grenada Police Force. They're talking about a diversion of traffic, which is intended to facilitate the road closure at Moliniere. Folks, this is kind of scary. This is kind of scary. It looks like certain parts of the island are slipping. I noticed this a few weeks ago when Mandu and Ian took me on this tour up the west coast. The road is splitting and slipping in the Moliniere area. And the scary part is that there's some huge houses on the side that's slipping. Find out what the cops are doing about that in just a minute. We do have the national report for you this morning. And then you probably noticed on the rundown, it says Allan's excused today. Yeah. Allan has a meeting today which began at about 8:30 this morning. So unfortunately, Allan's not going to be with us. So I'm terribly sorry for all those of you whose hearts I have broken on this morning. I'm pretty sad about it too, but what is a Thursday without Allan? You win some, you lose some. Now, that left me in an awkward position last night where I had to find some way to fill in that half an hour that Allan would normally occupy from about 9:30 until 10 o'clock or whatever. And I thought back just a wee bit to this past week's post-cabinet briefing. And I sat and I watched this last night and I said, hey, there's a solution Whenever I find myself hard up, I just go to the Almighty and ask for guidance. He provided some content which I want to share with you, because as you listen to this stuff, I think that you're going to be interested in what you're hearing. You're going to hear two pieces. One, the Minister of Health provides an update on the healthcare system. Now, since yesterday, healthcare was talked a lot about in the national report, I thought, hey, let me actually show the people the real deal. We don't have the time to show you everything the Minister of Health said, but he did provide a basic update on the healthcare system. And you'll have to decide, well, good, mediocre, or bad. Also at that post-cabinet briefing was the acting commissioner of police. Yes, sirree. And he talked about the implementation of the breathalyzer test. Let me tell you, those of you who have car, watch it if you're driving out there. They're coming after you this year. They're coming after you. And we're happy about that, because there are just too many ridiculous people out there driving under the influence. He also provided an update on what's going down in the Royal Grenada Police Force. And I thought, you might be interested in that as well. So, before you say Minister of Health, Commissioner of Police, no. Take some time and listen to what went down at this week's post-cabinet briefing, all right? Just let me get back here to social media for just a wee bit. Happy Thursday morning, Brother George from a cold Brooklyn. Hey, okay, so says Arthur. And Lydia is apologizing for her typo. Yeah. Hello, Lydia, nice to see you. Oswald Darbo, becoming a very loyal friend. We do appreciate that, Oswald, and I hope you're telling people about us, eh? This wonderful little gang that gets together here on Thursday mornings. John Nosenek saying, good wet morning to all watchers and listeners. You know, it's very, very cloudy down here, John, but and we did have rain overnight, yes, but it's not raining right now, but it's very, very overcast this morning. Davidi Leo is saying, good morning. Donna Joseph says, well, I'm not going to wait around for the national report. It's coming at you anyway, girl. Sean, hello, Sean. Thank you very much for wishing everyone a wonderful day. Sean, I think there's a program very similar to what we're doing. He's out there in the Azores, and he's become a very loyal friend, which we do appreciate. Always nice to see you, John. Host NJ. Good morning, Host NJ. Nice to see you. Ernesto Jose is saying good morning in a freezing New York. Okay, one person said freezing New York, and the other one said, what did the other one say here a few minutes ago? Cold Brooklyn. So yeah, it's probably freezing, don't know. Today, all eyes are on Brett's voting, and also voting on the impeachment hearing of the president going forward. Yeah, I guess a lot of eyes are going to be focused on that. I'm not losing any sleep over it. Judy Lewis Joseph is saying, long time no hear ya. Well, Judy, where have you been? We are here every morning, except Saturday morning. Sunday mornings for 3 hours, weekdays for an hour. So put some crazy glue on your seat so you'll never miss another edition. Stephen Phillip says, morning, it's raining in Latant. I'm not surprised. Looks like we could get some rain today. Kennedy Phillip is saying good morning to y'all. And of course, Kipling is sending his blessings to everyone. All right. So if I'm not mistaken, did I get everything in there? Yeah? Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's take a look at the cruise business, pilgrims. Wednesday, December 11th, has been the busiest cruise day thus far in the 2019-2020 cruise ship season, with 4 cruise ships in St. George. The ships were, let me show them to you here so you don't think I'm kidding you. The Azura, and there is the Azura. She had 3,000, well, let me rephrase that. She has a capacity of 3,597 passengers and 1,226 crew. All right, that is the Azura. Take a look. Then, the MSC Preziosa, there she is. That was the biggie. She has a capacity of 4,345 passengers and 1,338 crew. That was all. These 2 ships, by the way, were tied up at the Melville Street Cruise Terminal, where the biggies go. Then, we had this nice little guy here, or little girl, didn't check. The Windstar Star Legend. Not very big, only 212 passengers and a crew of 153. And she, by the way, excuse me a second here. She, by the way, was berthed at Burns Point. And finally, yesterday, the Royal Clipper. Royal Clipper, it's a beautiful sailboat, eh? Beautiful, just look at that. She has a capacity of 227 passengers and 106 crew members. And she was anchored offshore. Okay, that's the one I missed when I talked to you guys yesterday morning. Now, when you add up all the capacities that I just mentioned to you, we had a ship's capacity of 8,381 yesterday. Okay? And a note from the tourist board, the tourism authority, says that on Boxing Day, the numbers you saw yesterday will be surpassed as far as passenger count is concerned. In port on Boxing Day will be the Azura, which you saw just a wee bit ago. Fred Olsen Cruise Lines Braemar. That's a pretty old ship, that ship's been coming here since days when I used to work on the Rummer. She only has about 929 passengers, passenger capacity, 371 crew. And the MSC Preziosa, that's one of the 4 that was in here yesterday, the biggie, 4,345 passenger crew, passenger capacity, and 1,338 crew. These ships will have a potential capacity of 8,871 passengers. That's what's planned for Boxing Day. Now, so much for that. What about today? Well, let me tell you this. If the 8,000 plus yesterday was not enough, got a whole ton of them in here again today. Let's start with the summit. Excuse me, will you leave me alone? The Celebrity Summit, there she goes. There she is, beautiful ship. Not a very young ship, she's kind of old. She has a capacity of 2,218 with 936 crew members. She came in this morning. I watched her sneaking in here to the Melville Street Terminal. And she joined the Crown Princess. That's a biggie boy. Crown Princess has a capacity of 3,080 with 1,200 crew. So let's assuming that both of these ships are full. Today, you should have about 5,298 people here, which would bring this week's total to, what's today, Thursday? To about 14,000 people over the last 2 days. And that's not including crew members, all right? So there you have it, pilgrims. Those are the ships. So far, the season looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Let's see how it develops. Now, Ernesto says, that's a nice pic, Gigi, of the Royal ship. I love the sails on it. The Royal Clipper, okay. Oswin saying good morning. Anthea is saying good morning. And Rafa John is saying good morning. Yeah, good morning to all of you folks. Now, pilgrims, as a result of geotechnical and engineering studies and design work to be undertaken on the section of road between Mount Morris Junction and Moliniere Public Road, the following traffic arrangements have been implemented or will be implemented starting tomorrow, Friday, the 13th of December. Black Friday, all trucks and load-bearing vehicles will not be permitted to travel through the affected area at Moliniere. Please be advised. Don't say you didn't know, okay? The Granville Vale Public Road towards Willis has been identified as an alternative route. Effective Monday, December 16th, from 7 o'clock in the morning, the section of road between Mount Morris Junction and Moliniere Public Road will be closed to all vehicular traffic. Bear that in mind. Don't get caught with your pants down. The following arrangements made to facilitate the flow of traffic around the affected area are as follows. Vehicles traveling from the Western Main Road towards the town of St. George's will make a detour through Moliniere and exit along the Mount Morris Public Road and then continue into St. George's. Vehicles traveling from St. George or St. George's towards the western side will travel through Mount Morris via Jones Road and exit on Happy Hill Public Road and continue along the Western Main Road. Now, no parking. As a consequence of these arrangements, no vehicles will be permitted to park along either side of Moliniere Public Road and Jones Road. Motorists are also being advised to exercise caution and expect delays. Traffic signs will be erected to assist commuters traveling along that route. Okay? These arrangements will remain in force until remedial work is done on the affected portion of road. The RGPF goes on to say that they apologize for any inconvenience caused, and they're looking forward to the full cooperation of the general public. Okay, boy, it's probably going to be a messy Christmas for these folks traversing the Western Main Road. Let me get back here. Just, he's running late already. Sonia Mathlin Scott says, a pleasant good morning. And Joan Wellington says, hope the vendors and small businesses get some good sale of their products. Yeah, yesterday when I was downtown, I saw quite a few of them looking very, very sad. But anyhow. Lawrence Kruthoff says, good morning. He's here watching and listening in Granbra. Well, at least you're still in town, man. Margaret says, I wonder why they closed the road. Well, I think I just explained that, Mags. Yeah. They really need to do some work, and I'm glad to hear that they're doing this work, because all you need to do is drive up the West Coast and you can see the big crack in the road on this side, steep embankment, and the sea. And on that piece of land, big buildings, big bucks. John Nosinek says, Margaret, serious slippage. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Ernesto says, I hope our vendors will be patronizing by the visit. You mean patronized, okay, Ernesto? They will be patronized by the visitors of these ships. All right, folks. Hey, there goes our introduction on this Thursday morning break time. Then we'll come back with a national.
GRENADA continues to celebrate 25 years of partnership and growth. So this December, we're giving every customer the chance to spin and win. Just pay your bill in full on or before December 18th. Then, on Wednesday, December 18th, join us at any GRENADA customer care location. Spin to win giveaways that will make this season even more festive. Hams, groceries, gift vouchers, wine, electricity vouchers, and more. Join the celebration. December 18th, spin and win with GRENADA. Visit our website or Facebook page for more information. Terms and conditions apply.
Why wish upon a star? For a bank is better by far. Whatever you're wishing for this Christmas, we'll give you low interest and no fuss.
Co-op Bank is making Christmas wishes come true. Fix up your home, treat your loved ones, and get everything on your Christmas list this year with our no-fuss loans. As we count down the 12 days to Christmas, you can win awesome prizes every day. Special terms and conditions apply.
Christmas wishes come true with Co-op Bank and you.
Welcome home.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try the sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Because your vehicle is a necessity, being roadworthy is critical. Hubbard's Motor Department introduces its new tire and battery sales and service outlet located at Building Supplies Compound in Grand Anse, close to the Sugar Mill Roundabout. Available are a wide range of competitively priced tires, maintenance-free batteries, oils and lubricants. Keeping in mind your busy schedule, this outlet is equipped to provide you with fast and reliable service. Simply drive in and you'll be delighted with your service experience. For more information, contact 440-2087. Hubbard's, quality service, affordable prices.
More than 8,000 cruise passengers arrive in Grenada on the busiest day of the 2019-2020 cruise season. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Wednesday, December 11th, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. The Grenada Tourism Authority says the investments made in marketing the country as the ideal destination choice is reaping the benefits. 4 cruise ships called at Port St. George on Wednesday morning, bringing with them 8,300 cruise ship passengers, the largest number for the season in a day. P&O Cruises Azura brought 3,597 passengers and 1,226 crew. MSC Preziosa brought 4,345 passengers and 1,338 crew. Royal Clipper 227 passengers and 106 crew, and Windstar Cruises Star Legend 212 passengers and 153 crew at Burns Point. In total, the ship's capacity is 8,381 passengers.
We have 4 ships. We have 3 operating out of Melville Street, P&O Azura, MSC Preciosa, and we also have the Royal Clipper over at that end. Berthed at the Port of St. George in Burns Point, we have Star Legend. This is a bumper day for us. It's the most cruise visitors for the season so far. We expect in excess of 8,700 passengers on Boxing Day. And this is a fantastic day for all Grenadians to put their, as we say, our best foot forward. We're noted as the friendliest people, not just in the Caribbean, but in the world.
That's GTA's Nautical Development Manager, Mrs. Nicoyan Roberts. On December 26th, Boxing Day, the number of cruise ship passengers is expected to exceed Wednesday's total. P&O Cruises Azura will again bring 3,597 passengers and 1,226 crew. Fred Olsen Cruise Lines, 929 passengers, 371 crew members, and MSC Preciosa, 4,345 passengers and 1,338 crew members. In total, the ship's capacity will be 8,871 passengers. Mrs. Roberts says discussions are being held with the private sector to ensure shops will be opened and tour operators will be available to take the passengers to attraction sites on the island.
In addition to encouraging the private sector to open their businesses, because when the passengers come into Grenada, they understand it's our festive time, but they also want to see and do things while they're here. They don't just want to laze on the beach. So we have reached out to our stakeholder partners, private sector, and asked them to open your businesses so that the guests can have things to see and do. We've also worked with our tourism teams to ensure that when you go to the different attractions, there's a little bit of our unique culture that you can see taking place. You can see dancers, you can see shortney masqueraders, you can see people, Grenadians, exposing their culture and enjoying themselves on Boxing Day as well.
The GTA Nautical Development Manager says the 2019-2020 cruise season started well, with benefits for all stakeholders in the industry.
It's been a good season. We're projecting that we will end the year a little better than last year, and this indicates our continued growth in the industry, and it also shows us that our marketing and promotional strategies are working as we generate new cruise business and new tourism business for our 3-island destination. That's very important.
Grenada's Minister for Health, the Honourable Nicholas Steele, is sticking by a statement made at Tuesday's post-cabinet press briefing that discussions have been held with parties which are representative of the government and including the Labukan Creative Centre regarding training for nursing assistants. A subsequent posting on social media purportedly by Labukan basically refuted claims that it is in negotiations with the government for training nursing assistants in 2020. But Minister Steele, who was a guest on Wednesday's To The Point program on GBN, maintains otherwise.
I'm going to double down on that. And I'm going to say on or around the 14th of November, Labukan met with the Chief Nursing Officer, who is a representative of the government of Grenada, met with the Grenada National Training Authority, who is a representative of the government of Grenada, met with the Ministry of Youth, who are representatives of the government of Grenada, and that somebody is misleading somebody. I've received a written report of that meeting. That report was used to go to Cabinet to get a budget. And we continue. And my statements yesterday, I still stand by my statements that we need to have a meeting with the 3 or 4 entities that have named their Ministry of Youth, Nursing Council, Grenada National Training Authority, and Labukan to finalize. So if those meetings didn't occur, then those public officers are misleading me and others in terms of where they went on that day and the meetings they've had and so. Or whoever posted that on behalf of Labukan is misleading the Grenadian public. So I'm doubling down on it and saying they did meet with Government of Grenada. I've named the entities or representatives that they met with, and I am asking them to refute that so that I can follow up with those public officers to say that those public officers are misleading the government of Grenada and who they represented in discussions with Labukan.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
Did you join the public service on or after February 22nd, 1985 and have since retired? This might be important to you. Government understands that the NIS pension may be insufficient to take care of your needs. So, while it awaits the court's ruling on the matter of pension for public officers, government has taken action to protect your quality of life so that you can take care of your needs in the meantime. Persons who joined the public service on or after February 22nd, 1985 and served continuously in an established position for a minimum 26 years and 8 months and retired at age 60 may be eligible to receive an advance payment, which when combined with NIS represents 70% of their last salary. For more information, call or visit the Pension Secretariat in the Department of Public Administration, Ministerial Complex, 440-3767.
Continuing the news, alternative traffic arrangements for the Western Main Road Corridor, Moliniere, will take effect in the coming days to facilitate geotechnical and engineering studies and design work on the road section between Montmorris Junction and Moliniere. This intervention is urgently required to address the land slippage in that area. Working with the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force, the Ministry of Infrastructure Development, Public Utilities, Energy, Transport and Implementation says effective Friday, December 13th from 7 a.m., heavy trucks will not be allowed to use the Western Main Road. All heavy trucks and trailers are advised to use the Eastern Main Road and other alternative routes. Effective Monday, 16th December 2019 from 7 a.m., all other vehicles are advised to use the Montmorris Concrete Road to facilitate the traffic coming from St. John, St. Mark and St. Patrick towards St. George, and Jones Road to facilitate the traffic coming from St. George towards the western side. The ministry says the diversion of traffic will be in effect until further notice as it endeavors to enhance road safety in the area. These studies will commence in the coming weeks. The College Council at the T. Marisho Community College has made a new offer of $1.75 million, which it hopes unions will study and accept so that negotiations can continue towards a speedy settlement. Industrial action at the college is now in its 6th week and coincides with the end of semester exams and the advisement on course selection for the next semester that will prepare students to meet the academic requirements for their program. On December 6th, the Council presented the unions with a formally written offer to pay the $6.1 million increment over a period of time. It proposed that the first scheduled payment be made on or before December 30th, 2019 in the sum of $1.5 million, and the schedule for the payment of the other tranches will be made by March 30th, 2020 upon the receipt by the Council of the completed manpower and financial audit reports. In a statement issued on Wednesday, the Council says this was rejected by both the Public Workers Union and the Grenada Union of Teachers, and as such, the industrial action continues. The Council says it is committed to the payment of the increments in question, and all members of the Council, both long-standing and new, are fully aware of the devastating effects it will have on national development if not properly managed. The government gives an annual subvention to TAMCC of $14 million. And that's the National Report. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.
righty, that's going to take care of your national report. Now, there's a note here from Claude Putnam. Claude says, Mr. Grant, it is said that we are a Christian nation, but so many wrong things are going on in this country, it makes me wonder if that is really true. Telephone scam, demonstrations, road falling apart, supermarkets closing, money's missing. I'm wondering, is this Christianity? Just asking. So says Claude. Alrighty, folks, here we go with, where are we now? Yeah, let's have another quick break and then we'll get down to some of the updates I promised you on healthcare and the Royal Grenada Police Force.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try the sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Can I have a chicken lunch, please? Large.
Real nice today.
I don't want that.
But you just asked for a chicken lunch.
I don't have problem with the lunch. Afraid the container.
What is the problem with it?
These styrofoam containers, they don't good for the environment. They shorten with life.
What foolishness you telling me? So what you want me to use?
Put my food in this.
Where you get that?
At the food fair, where you could get all biodegradable food boxes and disposable food supplies like cups, plates, anything you could think about. Name it, it's there. And they don't harm the environment. Food fair, taking the lead in cleaning up and protecting the environment. Hey, like you take me advice, you get in your biodegradable food supplies.
Well, girl, I supporting who supporting the environment. That is why I shop in at food fair.
Food fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets. Products distributed by Hubbard's agency, Kirani James Boulevard.
Christmas safety tips. Always unplug Christmas tree lights before leaving home or going to sleep. Check your tree lights and outdoor lights for damage each year before you use them. Discard lights with frayed wires, loose connections, and cracked sockets. Do not overload your wall outlets or extension cords. Remind children never to touch lights or outlets. Select lights appropriately. Never use indoor lights outside or vice versa. Happy holidays from Grenley.
Why wish upon a star? For a bank is better by far. Whatever you're wishing for this Christmas will give you low interest and no fuss.
Co-op Bank is making Christmas wishes come true. Fix up your home, treat your loved ones, and get everything on your Christmas list this year with our no-fuss loans. As we count down the 12 days to Christmas, you can win awesome prizes every day.
Happy
Special
holidays.
terms and conditions apply.
Christmas wishes come true with Co-op Bank and you.
Alrighty, folks, it's now, let's see here, 21 minutes away from the hour. I promised you an update from the Minister of Health on Grenada's healthcare system. Now, let me explain right off the bat. I don't know how many minutes are missing at the very first part of this, but I pulled this off the government website last night, and this is what I got, okay? It's an update from Nicholas Steele, Health Minister, on the healthcare system in Grenada.
Central dispatch. While I've spoken previously that we have full complement of ambulances, and we're actually in the process of procuring additional ambulances in order for this service, ambulatory service, 434 as we say here, or 911 as you know internationally, For that system to work as efficiently and effectively as possible, it is necessary to have a central dispatch system. The way the system currently works and has operated for decades is that the number you call would either be to your local health center, police station, or hospital, i.e. Princess Alice or General Hospital, and it's actually answered with, in the case of the General Hospital, by individuals in the accident and emergency department, the very nurses and doctors who would be dealing with traumas and stress there. That is not the most efficient system, and the more efficient system is to have a coordinated central dispatch system, which is coordinated with police and fire. I am told that the requests for proposals have gone out, and the tenders, they're waiting to receive the tenders to analyze and go with the necessary procurement. We are looking forward to that. That would be the next step in making sure that there's efficient ambulatory services here in Grenada. We also have reached out to various other entities and organizations to have a technical strengthening in terms of training and individuals here to set up a proper ambulatory or emergency medical system, response system in Grenada. So over the next month or two, you will be beginning to see additional benefits, not just the number of ambulances, but the number of qualified persons. And like I said, the one thing that I'm looking forward to that will make a significant difference as well is that central dispatch system. I announced about a month ago that we had received certification from CAM, which is a Caribbean accreditation system for hospitals, teaching hospitals. Our General Hospital has been certified as a regional teaching facility for internship program. We are licensed or certified for teaching of 20 interns at a time, and therefore we are taking in, while we have had interns at our General Hospital for years, in January, the batch that is coming in would be the first batch under the certification. The batch that would be graduating would be the first batch that's graduating under CAM certification. That means that they are recognized, that the General Hospital is recognized as a regional facility for internship programs, and therefore all of the OECS and CARICOM countries would recognize any individual who has done their internship program in Grenada. We already have requests from individuals as far as St. Kitts to come and do their internship program here. That you can see the benefits of having additional personnel here doing their internships. While they are newly graduated, there are additional individuals who will lend support to the provision of medical services at the General Hospital. The next step on that would be to roll out an internship program into mental health and community. This would allow, one, the increase of a physical presence of qualified individuals, because remember, interns are going to be accompanied by a qualified consultant or specialist. So, and you would have a number of interns physically present as well at our mental facilities and at our community facilities. We are looking to roll that out, I would think, by the second half of 2020. We also received on Friday communication from the United States Department of Education that is now officially recognizing our Grenada Medical and Dental Council as the official national accreditation body for medical educating facilities in Grenada. Previously, we subscribed to a regional entity called CAM-HP to certify all medical educating facilities here, specifically SGU. Last year, we announced that we would begin the journey to have our own national council be the accreditation body. That journey has resulted in the United States recognizing that medical and dental council as a qualified certification or accreditation body. So I want to congratulate them for this journey. It has been a laborious task. It involves them visiting all of the sites that SGU students would do internships or residencies throughout the U.S., etc., and making sure that a certain standard is maintained. And the fact that the United States Department of Education has recognized
the work that they are doing and their qualifications is something that worthy of mention. Having said that, I want to thank CAM HP for the work that they have done. They have given us tremendous support throughout the decades. We have a complete admiration for CAM HP, but we just think that at this point in time, nationally, we have progressed to a point where we can have our own national body. We will still recognize CAM HP accreditation, but the supreme accreditation body, so to speak, in Grenada would be the Grenada Medical and Dental Council. I also want to take this opportunity to thank the Healthy Caribbean Coalition. They sent an open letter to myself and the Minister of Education congratulating us for our recent ban of sugar products in our educating facilities. I'm asking you, members of the media, to give us that support as well. It is partially education or primarily education in terms of healthy lifestyles. Some of us at our age have habits that are difficult to change. But for young ones, it is easier to get them into certain tastes, certain habits, certain dietary practices that will result in a healthier lifestyle. We in Grenada, like most, if not all of the Caribbean islands, are plagued with non-communicable diseases, particularly those that stem from sugar or abuse of sugar, obesity, as well as heart conditions. So we have been congratulated, but that is just a first step. We do need to continue the pressure, the education, the public awareness on that. And we will be coming with some other announcements that will involve you participating with us in an initiative that I would like I can refer to as Grenada Moves. It is part of a Caribbean initiative called Caribbean Moves, and it is getting all of us out there more in exercise and movement, and I'm looking for various champions in all of the sectors. So I'm looking for a champion from the media, a flag bearer as well, that will challenge your own peers to participate in various activities. There will be an announcement over the next week or so, press release with respect to the progress on national health insurance. There is significant work being done behind the scenes now with respect to financing, with respect to health system strengthening, with respect to getting ready for registration, etc. The National Insurance Scheme and GIPA, as well as the Ministry of Health, will be making a joint release on that. And at the end of my question and answer section, I will be handing over. Let me take this opportunity to welcome our Acting Chief of Police. And we will be discussing the imminent rollout of breathalyzer systems in Grenada. As you know, we passed legislation with respect to DUI blood alcohol levels and to allow for breathalyzers to be used in the enforcement. There is a planned rollout date of the 16th of December. For that, Cabinet gave approval on that, and the necessary regulations and legislations will be in place for that rollout to allow the police to enforce our DUI legislations, our laws, and to hopefully avoid any fatalities over the Christmas period, and will allow us to celebrate our Christmas with moderation. So having said that, I am open to questions and to give you answers. Thank you. Or comments.
Thank you, Minister. Colleagues, please identify yourselves and your media house and then proceed to ask your questions. Go right ahead.
Morning, Akeisha Felix, the Grenada Broadcasting Network. Okay, so as you would have mentioned about the interns, right? How does it affect the interns from SGU? Because you said it's a total of 20 interns for the hospital. So having the regional students a part of this, how does it affect the SGU interns?
It doesn't. We have taken approximately 15 to 17 students before. We will still be taking. We can now take 20. The majority of the students would be coming from our SGU. Well, the majority of students will be Grenadians. We do have students who have qualified outside of Grenada as well that come into the internship program. It is on a first-come, first-served basis, primarily Grenadians. And when we do have a space, Like this time around, it appears that we do have one space, extra space, and that additional space should be filled by a clinician who has applied and has passed the necessary qualifications. But the majority of our interns consistently, we have had in the past interns from Guyana and other CARICOM, from Trinidad and other CARICOM areas. So it's not any change in terms of who can get in. It is a change in terms of after after participating in an internship program, they would have a CAM certification.
Okay, my next question. So you'd have mentioned all the commendations given to the Grenada Medical and Dental Association for its rating as it relates to teachings and so on. Also, the same regional students coming in to do internship at the St. George's University. While it is good for the Grenada on a whole, when would we see it actually benefiting the citizens itself, where we won't see a pregnant woman on a beach chair or an 8-year-old child going to Princess Alice Hospital and the doctor stating that she's going on a 5-minute break with like about 15 plus people waiting. Mm-hmm. So when would we see the citizens themselves actually benefiting from this, as apart from, Grenada, where we offering this good thing for aspiring doctors, but at the end, our citizens are suffering?
I do like that question, because particularly it is obviously not a part of the level of education or educating facilities, medical educating facilities. St. George's University is one of the best facilities in the world. Doctors pass through St. George's University and work all over the world to commendation and at the highest levels in the United States. In fact, 1 out of every 10 doctors in the United States now has passed through St. George's University. It is in the individuals, I think, that we choose, and the facilities. You have spoken to 2 issues. One is the overcrowding of our, in particular, obstetrics or maternity section. And I do hope to be able to announce a building out of a larger facility at the General Hospital for that. In the interim, the facts are that that facility was an 18-bed facility. There was supposed to be a rollout of within the primary healthcare system to deal with non-complicated pregnancies. We were supposed to be doing deliveries in various healthcare facilities outside of the General Hospital. There has been a breakdown in that. There is a lack of personnel as a whole and the budget constraints. It is just not practical for Grenada, a country of our size, to roll out that type of primary healthcare system at this point in time. So we have to look at the strengthening of the current facilities. We do need to increase, and I do hope to have within 2020 the start, if not the start and completion, of additional bed space for obstetrics and maternity, as well as pediatrics. We are starting that in December. I hope to start the construction of the NICU unit, or neonatal intensive care unit, which would be based on a population ratio, the largest in the OECS in terms of ratio to population, and totally adequate to deal with the situation. To deal with our healthcare challenges in terms of number of individuals or right individuals, and I support all of our healthcare workers, so I want to be very careful of this, but I do have to recognize that there are some who create a bad impression or bad reputation for the rest, the majority, who are providing human service. What has happened in the past and continues to happen, and it's not a criticism, it is a reality. The bad news of health travels rather than the good news. And that I use as a motivation to improve the system. So yes, we do have bed shortages, and yes, we do have manpower shortages, and sometimes the individuals who are providing human service are a bit short to the public, and that is what the public reports. We have to deal with that through discipline, we have to deal with that through empowerment of our individuals, and we have to deal with that through the improvement of the facilities. You see the largest budget in terms of improvement of healthcare facilities in the primary healthcare for 2020, the $6 million that comes from the OECS project to strengthen and improve those facilities. I had just announced with respect to a laboratory. That's a behind-the-scenes section of health that has been neglected as well, that we are moving not just to move them into a new building, but have received the funding for training of additional persons to bring us to a Tier 1 standard. Nursing, we now have nurses who are receiving bachelor's degrees We are now, through the ministry, starting a nursing assistance program in January. It takes a year to train just a nursing assistant. It takes 4 years to train a qualified nurse, bachelor's degree, and that nurse comes out green, needs to be upgraded, whether it is midwifery, whether it is accident, emergency, etc. In the interim, in order to maintain the level of standard that you are expecting and the people of Grenada are expecting and demanding, we do have to look outside of the region to bring persons in. We have Cuban doctors here as well, giving us support. We have Grenadians in Cuba training, looking to come back shortly. We have Dr. Coy recently returned into pathology. Previously, there was a Cuban running that department. Dr. Coy has returned, and I look forward to Dr. Coy being able to run that department efficiently. So there is progress. While there is progress, there are still complaints. Not to say that it should be accepted, but if you Google any of the complaints that you have just mentioned, just Google any of the complaints, you will see that they exist worldwide, in first world nations as well. That is not an excuse for us to allow it to happen. I do appreciate the question because that motivates us to say that we as a people find this unacceptable and we're going to strive to improve. But I want to stress that these are issues that plague healthcare systems throughout the world. We in Grenada cannot use that as an excuse. Again, I'm saying we have to use that as motivation to constantly improve, which is why I've given you a list of the various areas that we have improved on or are improving on, and those are just initial steps. Healthcare is a continuous journey, a never-ending journey. At no point does any Ministry of Health anywhere in the world find themselves in a position where they say they have done enough and they have achieved a status quo that they can sit back and relax and maintain. You must always strive to improve. So in our striving to improve, we have to recognize and look forward to those opportunities where responsible members of the media like yourself bring up issues that are relevant, pertinent, and need to be dealt with.
Hold on. Final question. Okay, so we understand the health sector in Grenada. Everybody's aware of it, right? On social media, there are individuals, the press as well. They would have voiced some of their concerns, one of which is to have you step down as health minister.
Mm-hmm.
What is your take on this?
I would look forward to retirement at any point in time to go and relax. Right now, this is the challenge that I have. I accept the challenge. I did say from 2012 when I stepped forward as a member of the NNP and ran for elections that I have stepped forward to make a difference. I have been asked to make a difference in healthcare. I've accepted that challenge. I know with that challenge comes criticisms. In fact, I sometimes joke to my colleagues that the Minister of Health is considered to be the chief public health scapegoat. The Minister of Health does not administer care personally. The Minister of Health is not the chief administrator or head of any department. He is supposed to be the chief policy advisor. But I accept that somebody has to receive the blame and somebody has to make a difference. And in this instance, I'm the one wearing that hat, so I accept that and also acknowledge the fact that regardless of the progress we make, the face that needs to be criticized would be mine for the time being for any of the failures or shortcomings. We just need to make sure that the criticisms of last year are not the criticisms of this year, that we are constantly improving and that I need to recognize that there will always be criticisms directed at myself or the office that I hold, and just make sure that we constantly improve.
Certainly my main task is to speak briefly about the implementation of our breathalyzer system and testing. But of course, I think you would agree with me for using this significant platform to as well expound a bit on the achievements of the RGPF. So I crave your indulgence in permitting me to use the platform to do so as well. As it relates to the breathalyzer, however, I want to indicate that the RGPF strongly endorses the bold and courageous step of government to pass and implement breathalyzer legislation. This certainly will empower our officers with the authority of carrying out alcohol testing on motorists suspected of driving under the influence of alcohol. And I must at this stage identify, commend, congratulate, and thank the St. George's University for an investment of over 40,000 US, which played a significant role in the procurement of the equipment for the implementation of this initiative. We do hope that with the implementation of the breathalyzer, we will achieve a number of things, significant among which is that this new legislation will now act as a deterrent to attitudes of drink and drive, that it will afford a timely intervention on the part of law enforcement by taking action on suspected cases that will prevent accidents and save life and property, the net value of which will be to improve road safety for motorists and pedestrians alike. A complete briefing on the breathalyzer legislation and the demonstration will be held on Thursday at Police Headquarters Conference Room. The message on this will be passed out by the head of our Community Relations Department, Superintendent Cohen, by end of day today. So that's as much as I will say on breathalyzer now, pending the fact that we do have a more detailed briefing coming on Tuesday. And certainly it is on Thursday, and certainly it gives us the opportunity to at least get the message out that this is here and will be implemented, as Minister indicated, effectively on Monday. Now on the force side, in terms of an opportunity to give an idea as to where we are at, I think as a force we are doing very well. As of October 31st, 2019, our statistics are indicating major reduction in almost every category of crime over the same period of 2018. And I want us to note as well that these reductions are building on an overall 6% contraction of reported crimes in 2018 over 2017. And the categories we are speaking to, and these are the following reductions we are seeing. As it relates to fraud, we are seeing a 46 contraction or reduction in fraud cases, 17% reduction in sexual crimes, 8% in harm offenses, threats and assaults, 0.8%, not yet a full percent, but the needle is moving in the right direction. 2% on property crimes and drug offenses by 8%. In addition, and for the first time in our history, in recent history, I should say, we are tracking a 75% solving rate for reported crimes, noting that the norm is between 70 and 73%. So hence, not only are we tracking reductions in major categories, we are also increasing our rate of detection, which shows consolidated effort and excellent performance by the RGPF in enforcing the laws and bringing criminals to justice. All right? In addition, as you are well aware, we have also seen the major single seizure of cocaine in our history, the largest ever. 416 kilos of a street value of 41.5 million. And in addition to that, we have also seized $249,611 in other counter-narcotic operations. These successes that we celebrate are jointly attributed, of course, to the support that we have had from the community, our stakeholders, and of course, a very hard and tenacious work exhibited by our officers. In addition to this, the government has provided significant support during the past year. And sometimes we do not take sufficient time out to recognize the investment that government has made in investing in the RGPF to enhance our efficiency. And so I want to just flag a few of those that we've had for the past year. We have an authority to implement some 60 traffic wardens. Currently we have 30. And if you think they are effective, wait until you see the additional 30 roll out in January of 2020. We also had the procurement of 5 motorcycles and 7 vehicles to improve the mobility of the RGPF. We have also had the investment of $100,000 US to assist with the procurement of a new vessel for Coast Guard. We have had the purchase of a new radio communication system in excess of $600,000. We also had 60 recruits and the promotions of 125 police officers. We also had an investment of over $250,000 to improve the physical plant of police stations and departments, the bulk of which will be going to improvement at our Coast Guard base. In addition, government has also given approval for the implementation of a new medal and ribbon system for the recognition of officers for outstanding duty. So I think generally the investment in terms of the sustainability, the advancement, and enhancing the efficacy of the RGPF from government side has been significant. And I believe sometimes we definitely need to flag that, because often we really do not. I want to conclude basically by indicating that the successes of the RGPF hinges on community support to a large extent. And I want to thank the community for the assistance they have given us for the year thus far and historically. And I do look forward to continued support in 2020 as we continue to work and build in increasing the efficiency, effectiveness of the force, and improving the quality of professionalism and service we deliver to our community. On that, I will close and open for any questions you may have. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioner. I do have a number of questions, but I hope you'll be able to take all of them. Are you in a position, I know that you said for the breathalyzers, there will be a specific rollout on Thursday, but to the persons who are listening now, are you in a position to say what is the penalties?
The penalties we do have, but they are enshrined in the legislation, and that is what we will roll out on Thursday. Mm-hmm. What I can give you now additionally is what the limits are. And if that would probably help as a buffer to the question. The limit really and truly is 70 micrograms per 100 milliliter of breath, because there are two methods of testing. You can test breath and blood. So 70 micrograms per 100 milliliter of breath. And in the case of blood, it is 160 micrograms per 100 milliliter of blood. So anything over that threshold then will become an offense. The authority, the procedure, and the offenses, we will delve into that and unpack that for you on Thursday, so you have a very detailed and comprehensive understanding.
Yeah, you went on to speak about our 75% crime solving rate. Can you point out whether or not there are any form of new crimes becoming trendy?
There are new crimes. As you know, the electronic crime is a new crime. So certainly as society evolves, as different acts become impacting society negatively, new crimes will emerge. And it is a very good question that we must understand that we're not dealing with crime as a static situation, but that crime itself is evolving, and over time you have new crimes and offenses that was not there historically, which to me provides the foundation for actually crime to be perpetually growing. And when we are seeing contractions, notwithstanding those realities, I think it is best positioned for us to see the significant impact that your law enforcement entity is making in addressing the crime situation.
Can you provide an example besides the electronic crime? In speaking of electronic crime, is it with electronic transaction? Is it electronic defamation? What type of electronic crimes are we looking at?
The electronic crimes, and remember I think we led the region in having probably the first charge on this, where persons were sharing pictures of body parts and was not authorized. So certainly that is one. We are now delving in the area of new cyber crimes. Some of the crimes now you haven't because of the internet protocol. You have crimes against machines, you have crimes in machines, and you have crimes with the use of machines. So computer crimes are basically multidimensional and involve different layers. There are some of them that are mediated primarily by internet protocols, and some of them are driven only by machines. So in those areas, there are crimes being committed in different areas. They all piggyback, however, to actually foundation criminal acts, whether you commit fraud, whether you commit stealing, whether you, in those issues. But the manner in which the crime is being conducted has significantly increased simply mediated by the existence of technology and the internet.
What role is our telecommunication providers are playing in assisting to solve those crimes?
We do have a relationship with our telecom providers and internet providers generally, and where there is any case requiring investigation and collaboration, we do seek, and I can't recall of any case where we do not get collaboration from those entities.
Okay. I also need to ask for now, I don't know what my other colleagues have. Under Grenada's law, I think it was passed somewhere in the early 2000s, we established something called the deportee registration of persons who are returning to Grenada that needs to be registered. Are you in a position to tell us how much persons are registered, what type of crimes they probably have done and come in, and the possibility whether some of those persons are repeat offenders in Grenada?
Yes, you are correct. We do have a protocol that we follow with deportees. And yes, there is documentation, and there are other procedures we follow with deportees, which is not appropriate for this forum. But for giving you exact numbers, I will not be able to give you that here. But what I can say is that deportation follows a very broad spectrum, and persons are not only deported for committing crimes. There are persons who are deported when they violate the immigration status and visas and so forth and come back for those reasons. In terms of the regularity of the criminal deportee in terms of local crimes and the involvement in local crimes upon deportation, I think that's a point you're trying to get at. That is not overwhelming by the information before me. We do have deportees who do take part in criminal activity, but we are not seeing an overwhelming amount of deportation contributing significantly to criminal activities in Grenada.
Okay.
Before you ask the other one, I can say the information on deportees, I believe you did try to engage us on this. ACP Prince was leading on this to provide you with some response, and we can follow up after this press conference to see where you are with that. Okay?
Thank you so much. Well, my other question has to do, in recent times, one of a talk show host is on radio claiming that there are Grenadian passports being sold, not necessarily diplomatic passports, but regular passports that are sold on the open market in the underground world. Are you aware of such, and can you enlighten us more about that?
Well, what I can say that only as recent as this morning, I actually heard of that rumor being perpetuated. And as it relates to passport, what I would say is that the Office of the Immigration Department is responsible for the distribution of passports. And an unsubstantiated and scandalous remark like that can be very detrimental, not just to the force, but to the image of our country. And as far as I am concerned, the issuance of passports is well regulated. And if anyone has information to that effect, I would really encourage the persons to come forward with it so that we can look into it. But to me, at this point in time, it is unsubstantiated. I do not have any information to suggest that. If that is something that is occurring, I will really be interested in looking into it. And the fact that that assertion has been made, I will not be waiting for persons to come to me with it. I will be going to whoever is responsible for perpetuating that kind of rumor, because there is an interest on both sides. If it's something like that is happening, it is important that it be resolved. If that sort of information is being perpetuated and is not true, it is critical that it be identified for what it is and neutralized immediately.
If I can just comment a little further on that too. It's unfortunate because I'm glad that the commissioner is going to pursue it, because I see that as possible just scandalous or rumor mongering on an entity or a division of the government and Royal Grenada Police Force in particular. There's a center of excellence. I know there have been criticisms or comments recently with respect to the cost to the public of passports, but I think we all have to agree that our immigration department here and the service that they provide can be seen as a center of excellence within the RGPF and within the public service as a whole. They are extremely efficient, effective, and therefore should not be subject to scandal or rumor mongering. So I think it's commendable for the work they're doing, and also that the Commissioner takes it seriously enough to make sure that individuals don't continue to defame that section or any other section.
Minister, just to add finally, you may be aware that I am the Chief Immigration Officer. So this is an attack. This is Martin selling passports as far as I'm concerned. I am the Chief Immigration Officer. And if it's one thing I value, is integrity and my reputation. And so by implication, because of the holder of this office, it is a direct attack on my office. And so I must get to the bottom of this. We will see where the facts on this lie and where this case goes.
Commissioner, I just want to understand it, the concept that you presented here. Are you saying that there will be an investigation that will involve the persons who have recited such on radio?
Well, from a technical police point of view, an investigation is initiated when there is sufficient grounds to pursue a criminal investigation. The fact that there has been an allegation and there has been rumors perpetuated, that will be looked into. And once looking into that leads to the necessity of a more in-depth criminal investigation or investigation to assert what has really transpired, then yes, that will follow. But the first thing we need to do, the rumor may or may not be true. So we need to first look into, is there any merit in this, or is this just some loose remark made somewhere about the place? I can't say the essence of exactly what has been said and to the extent to which we can ascribe any sort of liability. We must first verify this, and then we will determine whether or not an investigation can go in from a law enforcement context. But looking into it, if that you term as investigation, then yes, it will be looked into.
Okay, ACP Martin, Rachel Bain, MTV News. I'm not sure if you saw a video circulating where a politician in Carriacou was recording a police officer in active duty, and the police responded in a not so good manner. So what I would like to know is, when does recording a police officer in public becomes obstruction of justice?
I can't speak with any authority to a specific case that you are referring to, but I'm contextually taking what you mean. Police officers are doing law enforcement work. You have your camera and you are wrong doing something. The issue of recording in public space is an issue that has become a norm in society. However, there is a balance in my mind as to whether or not you are carrying out an act within a space that impinges upon an officer being able to execute his particular duty. If it becomes that your intervention is obstructing the officer in the execution of his duty, he can take a particular action, ask you to move on, tell you to get out of the way, stay a bit up, because when officers are enforcing the law, many things can happen. You come close and you want to record, firearm is being used, anything is being done, you end up getting injured. So there's an interest in person's safety, and there is a mutual respect that we all must exhibit in allowing officers to execute their duties uninhibited. As a matter of fact, it can amount to an offense in obstructing an officer in the execution of his duty. Now, I'm going to all that length without being able to speak directly to the specific case you are referring to. It could be that officers may react in specific cases and might have erred in their response. Of course, if that happens, the individual affected make a complaint to us, and we look into the matter as we have done with any allegation made against police officers.
Commissioner Edwin Martin speaking at Tuesday's post-cabinet briefing. Yes. Enough said. Pilgrims, I just want to remind you of something I said yesterday. I asked you folks yesterday and the day before to start thinking about one good thing that has happened to you in 2019. Because starting on the Wednesday before Christmas, I want to share those with our listening audience. And so I'm going to be asking you Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, to please let me know about one good thing that's happened to you in this country over the past year, okay? And I'm going to keep reminding you and reminding you and reminding you. So please, hang in there for that. Now, 20 minutes after the hour, I think it's about time to pull the curtain down on this morning's edition of Gudday Grenada. Just let me see if I can pull up our inspirational reading for today, which comes to you from the book of Exodus, Exodus 20, verses 12 to 17. Honor your father and your mother, so that you may live long in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or his male or female servant, his ox or his donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. Exodus 20, verses 12 to 27. Okay, pilgrims, I think that's going to do it for Georgie Porgy on this Thursday morning. I'm locked up inside here. Couldn't tell what's going on out there, whether it's raining or not, but I'm going to go take a look now. You have a great day. And by God's grace, let's get together again tomorrow morning for the finale of this week. And I'm hopeful that we're going to be joined by Brian. God bless you.